honoring the brave Americans who paid the cost of war with their lives. That's a live look at the Vietnam Memorial in Washington. More than a third of the soldiers who died in Southeast Asia were parents, leaving behind an entire generation of kids, about 20,000 of them to be exact. Now, one man's on a mission to bring them all together. Tony Cordero is his name. There he is. He's the founder of Sons and Daughters in Touch. Great to have you here. So tell us a little bit about your organization, first of all, Sons and Daughters in Touch.
Well, quite simply, when you look at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial and you see the 58,267 names, other than the 8 women who are listed there, the rest of those men are our fathers. They were our fathers. And that simply sums up the mission of our organization.
You started this 20 years ago. Why?
I was reaching a point where I was going to outlive my dad, and he died just before his 30th birthday. I was going to hit 30, and all of a sudden this reality struck me that I was going to outlive him, and wondered what life would be like at that point, and then wondered if there was anybody else who'd lost their dad in the war. Other than my sister and my brothers, I'd never met anybody who'd lost their dad in the war.
Until you met somebody named Wanda Ruffin. Tell us a little bit about her.
Wanda's a Gold Star wife. She lost her husband, Navy Commander James Ruffin, toward the end of the war, and Wanda had a daughter named Wendy. Wanda put Wendy and I together. We had a conversation, and that just kind of led from one thing to the other. In Memorial Day 1990, Parade Magazine ran an article about Wanda and Wendy, myself, and a few other sons and daughters, and that opened the floodgates. We had 1,000 people respond to this article saying, we lost our dads in the war too. We want to be part of this organization, because at that time there was nothing like this.
When you get together with these people, Wendy, for instance, and so many other people, kids who lost their fathers during this war, what is it that benefits you? What is it that this meeting, that this camaraderie brings to you, that helps you so much?
Well, history and fate gave us a wall. Our dads' names are listed on that wall, and we've turned that wall into a family tree. I can look at each of those panels and recognize the names of different men who are there, and I know their children. And more importantly, I look at their children today, and we can look each other in the eye and say, I know what your life was like, you know what my life was like. We're grown-ups now, Gold Star children that we are. We lost our dads when we were very young, and we're all now middle-aged, getting a little gray around the edges, and we're still their children. And that emotion and that sentiment bonds us forever.
And we're looking at a photo right now, I believe, of your father. When you decided then that this was such an amazing thing, this sparkle, this magic that you have when you meet up with other kids, children who are now adults now, that you decided to try to meet every year. Tell us a little bit about this.
It's tough. We are in every corner of the country, each of the 50 states in the Union, but we wanted to make Father's Day significant, because on Memorial Day, the nation remembers all of the nation's war dead, but on Father's Day, we significantly and specifically remember our dads. So we focused on Father's Day and tried to bring as many of our members together at the wall in Washington as possible. But bringing them together every year has been a challenge just because of economics and logistics. But nonetheless, Father's Day has become a very significant day there at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial.
It's particularly significant to you because I was reading some of the notes on you, and tell us a little bit about the last Father's Day that you had with your dad.
It was 45 years ago, and excuse me. Our dad, we were living at Clark Air Base in the Philippines, and my mom was expecting the 5th of the children in the family, so it was my sister and 3 brothers. We celebrated Father's Day a couple days early because Dad was leaving from the Philippines to fly to Saigon, and then from there take off on a bombing mission over North Vietnam, and he didn't come back. And again, it was 45 years ago this Father's Day that we will mark that date for our family. And every family who lost someone marks those dates. The date that you lose your loved one is as important as a wedding anniversary or a birthday.
And thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, I know obviously, a lot of time has passed, but it's still like it was probably just yesterday for you. And so many kids out there. This is a wonderful thing that you're doing, and this is a very special year, this Father's Day, isn't it?
It is. We have been doing this. Sons and Daughters in Touch has been in existence for 20 years now, and we'll mark that milestone Father's Day weekend, 3.5 weeks from now. at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington. We will have a whole series of events taking place throughout the weekend, marked by Father's Day ceremony at 10 a.m. at the wall in Washington, just like the ceremony that took place this morning. But at that ceremony, you'll have Gold Star sons and daughters like myself and my siblings and others from all over the country who will come there to celebrate Father's Day and mark the legacy of our fathers.
The organization is called Sons and Daughters in Touch, and what a wonderful thing you've done. And your father would be very proud of you. Thank you so much.
You know,
for doing
if I can finish by inviting other Gold Star sons and daughters to come and join us, we'd love to have them do that. You can find more information about us on the web at sdit.org.
And we'll make sure we put that on our website as well. Tony, thank you very much for joining us today. Thanks.
Thank you.
Rick?